Hello, and welcome to day 7. Hope everyone is doing well today. Joining us live today, say hello in the chat and where you're from. If this is your first day, say first day. If you've been here more than one day, say more. Say more, please. Welcome to everyone. I have a question. Let's start with a question. What are you holding on that you no longer need? So, our 21-day intentional balance challenge, we're talking about what if letting go leads to more. Perhaps it's worry, and this is day 7. Perhaps it's worry. Perhaps it's just a moment of frustration. Perhaps you're not, in the space of letting go, you're in the space of gaining more. But what I've learned is in order to get more, we have to, release some things and get some balance, not where everything is even, but just where you're in a good space, a healthy space, right? Maybe it's the endless busy schedule. I know I have experienced that in many seasons. Sometimes to fully step into the peace and blessings of God, what He has for us, we need to release what we're holding back. Our scripture today, Isaiah 23:3, reminds us that He will keep us in perfect peace. Those whose mind is stayed in trust in Him. So that's Isaiah 23:3. And we're working in our 21-day journal, guided journal, which is available on Amazon. You can grab this at any time. It's a guided journal that has spaces for you to write for journaling, a space for prayer. There's also a mental health assessment, a daily assessment that's really good for just knowing where you are so you know where you need to be. And like I said, today is day 7, and we're just trusting in what we're surrendering to God, giving Him the space to take away the things that are weighing us down and to receive His perfect peace, right? So, thanks again for joining me for day 7. It's been a full week. There's been some testimonies that have already come out of the 7 days of our intentional balance challenge. What if letting go leads to more? So help us build this community by liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell. Subscribing to our YouTube channel helps us to reach more people with what our mission is that God has given us. And your support means so much. So remember to like, share, and hit the bell so that you can receive all the notifications. If we haven't met already, my name is Kelly Duren-Jones, and I'm an author, coach, and speaker, as well as the founder of Grace to Grow Beyond Fear. I help individuals live with purpose, with hope, with faith, even in life's hardest moments that can include an abundance of fear, maybe some anxiety, trauma, whatever it is. Right, we're here to support that. I also lead the Grace Sister Circle, a supportive women's community where we gather monthly, virtually, and in person to grow, to celebrate, to collaborate, to uplift one another. We're an accountability group. We're looking for women just like you to join us in walking in purpose. So if you're interested in any of those coaching services, speaking services, or especially to join our sister circle, our Grace Sister Circle, leave me a comment or send me a message. And so today is an invitation to slow down, which I need to do right now because I'm talking real fast. Take a moment and slow down, take some deep breaths, step back from all the noise and all the hustle and bustle of our lives and the things that are going on in the world today. And there's a lot going on. So taking an intentional step to just renew your body, spirit, and soul. All of those areas are important to keep in balance. Again, not on an even scale, but just keeping track in the audit of where you are and what you need to work on. Rest, and we're going to talk about intentional rest today. Rest is a gift. It restores, it refreshes, it reminds us of God's unchanging faithfulness. If you have any experience with rest on the heavy side or on the healthy side, drop rest in the chat. I think we all can say that rest has been a subject at some point in our lives. Just drop rest in the chat or in the comments. Um, Together today, we'll explore how releasing what is weighing us is a part of resting, and how we create space for joy and blessings that He has waiting for us. So let's talk about the difference between rest and sleep, because I think sometimes we intertwine the two, and somewhat they are a little bit, connected to each other, right? So do you know the difference between rest and sleep? Drop a yes or no. If you can rattle off the difference between rest and sleep, say yes or no in the comments. And I try to make this as interactive as possible. So let's join in doing the work, because doing the work is important. Responding is important, opening up those thoughts and having these provoking questions so that they can lead you to kind of think about what's going on in your own life, right? So, do you know the difference between rest and sleep? Sleep is essential for your body, and so is rest, right? But sleep repairs, restores, and prepares you to take on the next thing, the new day, whatever it is, right? The next challenge. It's a physical need we simply can't live without. If you're lacking in sleep, you're opening yourself up for sickness, for error, for lack of clarity, brain fog, and a list of other things, right? But rest, rest isn't just about your body; it's about your whole being. So rest renews your mind. It can calm your emotions and reconnects your spirit to God's peace. So when you're resting, you can think clearly, right? Um, you can make better choices. It's an intentional time spent just with peace, in your heart. Sometimes you have so much going on. You ever felt like your heart was just heavy? There's so many moving parts, maybe not so good, maybe even all the good things. Have you ever had a lot of good things happen at once? You still have that, you know, kind of adrenaline going where you're feeling anxious a little bit, right? So we have to intentionally make time to rest as well as sleeping. Think about it. How often do you wake up from a full night's sleep feeling restless? I know I've done that several times. Like, oh, that was some good sleep, but I'm still tired, right? I'm sure that has happened to us at least once in our life, right? If not, keep living. That's because true rest requires more than just closing your eyes. It's surrendering. It's surrendering to God's invitation to feel stillness in Him. Part of my rest is my daily devotion. Just taking the time to just kind of sit still, read scripture, write in my journal. Sometimes I just sit and just pray, close my eyes, open eyes. And I don't like to lay down and do it. I like to get up and do it. I like to be intentional before God and just make that time for just rest, right? Resting in Him. There's something funny that I found when I was studying rest and sleep. So my husband and I like to go on these long drives. It's for my husband, it's his rest time. That's what he likes to do to calm himself down. He's talking, he's listening to music, whatever he's doing. Most of the time, I'm asleep. No matter what time of the day or night it is, I am asleep because I'm totally rested and I, trust his driving and all that. So when I found this, it said, if it takes you less than 5 minutes to fall asleep, you're probably sleep deprived. And it made me chuckle because and it said that falling asleep should take 10 to 15 minutes naturally. But it made me chuckle because um he always says, "You sleep before we get out the driveway. Start the car, buckle up, sip a few things, sip my little water that I bring, and then I'm asleep." So he always says, "You're asleep before we get out the driveway." So that made me think like, yeah, there's evidence that I need more sleep. Only way I'm awake is if I'm chewing something greedy, right? But yeah, so that was funny to me. But if you look up rest and sleep, you'll find all kind of facts that you might be able to relate to help you on this journey of sleeping. I wanted to share a couple things with you, and I'll read them because I don't know these by heart. But sometimes, caring for yourself starts with understanding the difference between rest and sleep. It's a component that we can't manage our time without, and we should be managing our time, right? It's a key point in just life itself. If you're rested, if you don't, if you're not sleeping, please seek the help that you need to get in balance with those things, because it actually says that it can cause some really dangerous physical illnesses, and it affects you mentally as well. Hey, April, thank you for joining us. So I want to share. So I came across some helpful tips that I wanted to share with you. One of them is aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. Some people say the time doesn't matter, the quality matters, but I think if in the baby steps, in the start of it, working on the amount of sleep you can get can be helpful, because your body does its best repair work while you're sleeping. So if there's anything going on, you need to be able to sleep to fight through those things. So prioritizing and getting the proper sleep to support your physical and mental health is important. The second thing is stick to consistent sleep schedule. That's a little bit different in today's world. We have a lot of things going on. Our schedule may look different from day to day, but do the best you can with going to bed and waking up at the same time, or somewhere in the same range, to help you regulate your body's internal clock that we have. Um, and the third thing is take short rest breaks during the day. I've never been a person to take naps. It's always made me feel worse when I get up because I don't think I do it quite right. Maybe I do it too late or something like that. But it says to even a 10 or 15-minute pause. So maybe not sleep for me, maybe just a pause. That's a great idea. A pause, and the light bulb just came on. Um, just to take a moment to settle myself like I do in the morning, or like I do at bedtime, just in the middle of the day, take a breather to kind of relax and break up the day. Maybe stretch, do some stretching, some exercises. And when I think of exercising, I think I need 30 minutes. I need how many ever minutes. But there's videos that are like 7 minutes long, 5 minute walk videos on YouTube, even, or, all over the internet that we can use. So let's use the resources that God has given us for us to learn these key skills. Some other ones are try relaxing techniques like meditation or breathing, reduce screen time, and stimulating activities in the evenings. That's a big one, and it's hard to do in this. Well, it's hard for do for me, I should say, sometimes. But I'm practicing not looking at my phone, um, not looking at TV so late. I do have a TV in my bedroom. That's probably not a good thing, or any computer or thing like that. Giving yourself some downtime. Maybe read a book. Maybe take a bath. Maybe just sit quietly. Learn how to do some other healthy habits where you're not looking at that blue screen, because it's a fact that it does something in your brain where it stimulates you, where it's harder to calm down. Um, the last thing they mentioned, which I thought was very important, knowing when to pause. Sometimes we have these planned breaks, but sometimes you need to know when you need to avoid pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion. And I do that. I'm not doing that anymore. I just changed that statement, because you just go and go and go until you're just ready to fall out. That doesn't even make sense, right? Rest isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of honoring the temple that God has given you. And we need to learn how to, make that a healthier habit. Or I'll just talk for me. I need to learn how to make that a healthier habit. And maybe someone else does too. If that's you, say me too in the comments or in the chat. Overextending leads to burnout, which can, harm your sleep and your overall health. So we want to work on that, and finding that balance between rest and sleep takes intentional effort. So I'm working on that right now. Intentionally finding that balance with rest and sleep, not resting too much, not sleeping too much, but getting enough, right? When you're in the hospital, they want you to get out the bed and walk around for a reason, because they want your blood to get circulating. They want your movement. It's the fact that the more you lay around and sleep, the worse your health can get mentally and physically. So there has to be some balance between the two. Not getting enough and getting too much can both be harmful. So there's a scripture that I'm going to share with you today, Matthew 11:28 through 9, where it talks about, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and will rest and will find rest for your soul. So there's rest for you, in the physical realm and in the spiritual realm. Sometimes we're tired spiritually from all the things that are happening in life, in the world, all the things. But you don't have to do this alone. I say that a lot because for many years, even though I had a circle, I'm an only child, but I've always had family and love around me. I didn't lack in that area, thank God. But I still felt kind of alone because of the things that I was secretly going through, secretly holding on to, that I didn't ask for help for, or that no one knew what was going on. I think we all experienced that. But knowing that there's rest from God in those places that maybe you don't want to talk to people about, memories that you don't want to think about, or things that you're going through right now that you need help with, that you only want to go to God to. That's the thing. Everything is not for everyone to know. Some things we need to go to God and trust Him. And then He gives us resources, people, things, tools, therapy, medical doctors, coaches, friends, circles, like the Great Sister Circle, where you are in a safe place, where you can find that help, where you don't have to carry all these burdens and be, unrested, right? So today, if you're feeling stretched thin, go to God. Take Him up on His invitation. Pause, breathe, and rest in the peace that only He can give you, right? Amen. And I like to make scriptures personal. So when it says come to me, He's talking to Kelly. Kelly, you could come to me with all that's going on. This, that. Be specific when you read these scriptures. Rewrite it and be specific. And know that He'll give you rest through that thing, whatever that thing is that you're carrying around. So I want to share with you, I want to say one more thing. Designate a day of rest. Sometimes we go and we go. Some of us are entrepreneurs. Some of us have full time jobs, and we're entrepreneurs. We're mothers, we're daughters, we're wives, we're husbands, we're, significant others. We wear all these hats, and we do this every day. And maybe every day you're hustling and bustling. Designate a day for rest, to pause, to reflect, to renew yourself physically and mentally. It's very important to take that time out. And there's seasons where you're like, I got to keep going. I got to do this. I got to do that. But if you don't take rest, I've learned that rest will take you. You'll end up being forced to rest, and that's normally not so pleasant. So learn to fit it in however you need to fit it in. And it may look different for everybody, but make sure that we're intentionally designating rest and sleep, right? Pause, reflect, and renew. It's a space where, you're just setting aside distractions and focusing on the quietness that you can create for yourself. And in that quietness, you can normally hear from God, I found out, either from someone else or just within yourself. It's a lot of hustle and bustle. It's a lot of noise going on in the world today. And we do need to stay informed. I need to do better with staying informed, but I intentionally disconnect myself because I want to stay grounded, and because I know that I once had an issue with fear, I have to stay away from things that resemble that. So I intentionally just kind of stay away. I get the news however I get it. I may look at it, I may not, but that's just what I do to protect me. And so you have to learn what you need to do to protect you. So I want to share three Before we go, I want to share three practical
Mhm.
tips to renew your spirit today. To rest your soul, renew your spirit, renew your body, all those things. So if you're still with me, say, I'm here. Or if you're watching the replay, let me know you're watching the replay. And also share some nuggets that you received from the first 7 days. Um, if you're if you've been watching, if you haven't, they're available to watch, when you have time. And remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe. So the first thing is setting boundaries with the screen time. We talked about that. Be be intentional about your technology use. And I'm mentioning this again because this is one of the top factors that I from all of the articles that I read that interrupt our sleep patterns. Um, use those moments to read, find some other healthy habits to do, or simply enjoy the stillness, like I said. For example, commit to putting your phone in another room for 30 minutes while you reflect on your week, while you're writing your schedule for tomorrow, while you're planning your grocery list, whatever it is that doesn't involve a blue screen. Do that, and maybe sleep with your phone in a different room. I like to leave my phone on for emergencies. I just feel safe in that. But I've been, trying to get in the habit of putting it in a different room when I go to bed so that I'm not disturbed by the flickering or the buzzing. But if it's someone calling that's on, we can also put in only certain people can call you, like for emergencies. You can put all those settings in your phone. So I'm trying to get in the habit of doing that just because I'm working on my sleep. The second thing is um, practicing margin moments. So groups of time that you're giving yourself um, breathing room. So margin moments, what I call margin moments, are just creating small margins of time between activities. I'm recording a video today, so after that, I take a moment and read and just sip some tea and just concentrate on what God gave me during this video. Because a lot of times it's so off my notes, it's incredible. So I know it's nothing but God. And I also know that a lot of that, most of that, all of that is pretty much for me. So I take my notes, I do my journaling at that time during this season, during this 21 days. Instead of packing my schedule, leaving actual gaps of time to pause. I'm learning that. That's a healthy habit that I'm learning. It might include going for a short walk. I particularly don't like walking out in the cold, so maybe I'm doing a walking video. I don't like the cold. Taking a few deep breaths, learning how to do breathing exercise. I learned a 1 minute breathing exercise technique that really has been helpful. If you're interested in learning that, reach out to me and maybe I'll do a video on it. But it's just 1 minute, but it's very impactful. It feels a little strange at first, but I'm finding that it's helping me to calm myself down in different parts of the day. The third thing is ending your day with the faith and hope check in. Tonight before bed, spend a few minutes just with God, looking back on your day or the week. For me, most of the time, it's the day. So much can happen and is happening in today's days with all the chaos and all the things going on, maybe in your own house or in your own mind. Ask yourself, what worked well today? Where did I see God in today's space? Or where did I leave him out where I should have seen him, right? What can I release to him before I lay down? Some of the time, let me slow down, my rest is interrupted by thoughts. So if I can release those thoughts before I even lay down, that might be helpful, right? So and then having a notepad next to your bed where you can write down your thoughts at the end of the day. You can use this during this 21 days and after to write down your thoughts and your prayers, right? It's an excellent tool. And it's also during doing the mental health daily assessment at the end of the day is one thing you can do every night. And if you want a downloadable of that, let me know. because it's a handy tool to get you kind of grounded at night, right? That hope and faith check in at the end of the day. And just writing down your thoughts and just being prepared and fresh for tomorrow so you don't have to roll that around in your head while you're sleeping all night. Maybe I'm the only one that does that. But I want to leave you also with a journal prompt. Um, let's make time today and every day to slow down and soak into the little things, what we call the little things. Things that you may think you may overlook, like just waking up in the morning is a blessing, right? Being able to feed your family, having a warm place to live. We take those things for granted, but there are so many people who don't have the simple things. Being healthy, being without pain, being with a little pain, being with less pain than you were before. Let's just, kind of thank God for the things that we have that we may not always think about because we're so focused on what we consider the bigger things. So what are some, joys that you've experienced this week? What good has happened this week? Or what didn't go so well, but you learned a lesson from it, right? You can write about that. Um, how can you can write a plan. How can I make space for rest and renewal every day? Maybe it's that, marginal pause we talked about. Maybe it's that, going out to your car during your lunch break and just getting away from the noise, removing yourself from the chaos. Maybe it's turning off the TV for a day or for, an evening, however it is. Writing a gratitude list. When I used to work my 9 to 5 job, it was very stressful. Sometimes I would go out to my car just so upset, crying and everything. I cried though. I'm a crier. Just upset, and I would just go out there and write what I'm thankful for. And maybe it had nothing to do with work. Maybe it's I'm thankful for I didn't go off like I felt like going off. Whatever it is, I'm thankful that it didn't get worse than what it is. I'm thankful that I'm, healthy today. I'm thankful, whatever it is, write a short gratitude list or a long gratitude list just to pull you out of that environment or that space. Because what's filling your heart with thankfulness takes you away from all the other things that's going on. And what's filling your heart today with thankfulness? Maybe you're just thankful you got peace in your house today. Maybe you're thankful, you're able to make it to church, or you're able to listen to church, or you're able to join this 21-day challenge. Maybe you're thankful for that. But learn to take a deep breath, you know, to kind of savor the stillness. That's a gift, to be able to be still and have peace. There's so many people who wish they had that. Lean into it, like really celebrate yourself for being able to get to the 7 day of the 21-day challenge. Like, whether you just watched the videos, whether you wrote in your journal, maybe you wrote in it one day, maybe you wrote in it every day. And if you're on social media with us, share some photos, hold up your book and say, hey, I made it to day 7. Hey, I watched day 3, whatever it is, because we want to not only build ourselves up, but we want people to know that this is something that God has given us to do, and we're expecting great things from it, right? Again, make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit the bell. In conclusion, we are done with day 7. Well, our video for day 7. And I'd like to know how you're feeling about the challenge, what you would like to see more of within the challenge, how you would like maybe to see something different, or maybe you want another, private session on one of the topics that we can make available for everyone. Take a moment and just reflect on the takeaways that God has given you during this challenge, because it's really a personal walk. We're here, in accountability with each other, but it's the bottom line is what you and God are, what God is doing in your life in this 21 days and what we're expecting beyond the 21 days. So I love to hear what stood out, and celebrate with you the steps that you're taking. This is our chance to clear the clutter physically. Who's working on physical? If you've cleared something in your house, let's hear about it. Maybe it can encourage someone else. Um, But it's our time to release together anything that's weighing us down, anything that shouldn't be in place. And then also it's our chance to open up for more. I went to a conference and we repeated throughout the conference, more please. So if you're expecting more from God, put more please in the comments. Together we're making space to make our lives better. So remember to show up, be intentional, and expect great things. I can't wait to see you tomorrow for day 8.